Welcome to Bros and Sweet Talk. We have our lovely host,
Mia.
And Jay.
What's up? I'm Sean.
Today we're going to talk about living in two different Americas. The one that us as black and brown people live, and those that were at the Capitol on January 6th, how they live compared to how we live.
Also, we're going to talk about how the NFL, how they treat between black and whites also when it comes to domestic violence, when it comes to a black man hitting or having a domestic violence against his girlfriend or wife. And then when it comes to a white person, you can see the different.
You can see the difference in how they portray a black athlete or a minority athlete compared to a white athlete. It's huge disparity between the two. Case in point, the insurrection that happened on January the 6th compared to how black and brown people were treated by the police when it came to Black Lives Matter. We were shot with rubber bullets. We were tear gassed. There was hundreds of arrests. And compared to the insurrection, they actually walked some of those people down the stairs, helping them get down the stairs after they went and tormented our political leaders.
And also, we have the two different disparities between black and brown people in sports as well. Just like an example, the NFL. We have Ray Rice, and we also have the Kansas City running back, Kareem Reed, who had domestic violence. And you can see how they was treated compared to this guy, Willer, who was just last week domestic violence. And I don't think anything happened to him except for he just got kicked off the team.
And the way that they portrayed it was he's taking a step back from the game to focus on himself and his relationship. They didn't make it because he
was
beat
forced.
The girl. He was
right.
Forced, but they made it seem like it was not a big deal. And this happened I think it was 2 or 3 weeks ago, and it hasn't really gotten any airtime on ESPN Sports Center. They're not plastered all over Yahoo News and Fox News about this athlete who literally thought he had killed his girlfriend. And he what did he do? He was eating a sandwich, and he thought she was dead, and she woke up and he
was surprised just to see her. What are you still doing alive?
And didn't he want her to bow to him or something like that?
Yeah. So that's the main reason it happened, because I guess he felt like he wasn't respected, or he wanted to be the king and she wasn't going for it. So he felt like, I'm going to force you to do it. So that's the reason why he probably took those actions.
Forcing her to do it. But I mean, that kind of goes back to the slave master era, right? I mean,
same mentality.
Yes. Yeah, people want to say, oh, I'm not racist because I have black friends, or I'm not racist because I have a black girlfriend. That doesn't exclude you from being a racist. Right. When you feel like you're superior to somebody else, that means you're a fucking racist.
Exactly.
Let's call it what it is. And it's frustrating to see how the media has portrayed him versus how they portrayed Ray Rice and everybody else. So
yes, it's totally unfair, because they played those videos over and over again and pretty much made them just like they the worst people in the world. But when it comes to this guy, it had no airplay. It was not on Sports Center. You had seen the headlines pretty much on social media, but where was the outrage when it comes to him trying to almost killing this lady?
Right.
That's why you can see that we basically living in two different Americas, between us and between them.
So let's go back to the beginning. Why do we think we're living in two different Americas?
Well, I think I think that a lot is because we allow the media continuing to get away with how they portray us. Mm-hmm. We don't call them out on their bullshit when the difference in how they treated Ray Rice to how they treated this Wheeler guy. We need to start calling that stuff out, and we need to start talking to people in a way that it shouldn't be tolerated on either side. But if you're going to treat one a certain type of way, then everybody should be in that same category.
Treated equally.
Treated the same way.
And I agree, but the only difference is I think that the media is going to pretty much use whatever they can or their leverage they're going to use against us. So we don't have them same equal rights that it would be if we can just say, okay, let's push it out to the media. The media won't say, okay, we just gonna do this because they requesting to do it. So how do we get that opportunity to force ourselves to pretty much keep pushing it out there so everyone can see it, or we make that move where it's forced for them to start showing more and more?
Well, I think that us having this type of dialogue now, we have to be our own media. We have to bring light to that in our community, and having a I don't want to say a safe place for people of color, but being able to have a conversation and it just be completely unbiased in this type of setting, I think will go a long way in our community in making people be held accountable.
So to play devil's advocate for a minute, the way the riots took place, so that was covered heavily.
Right.
CNN, Fox, no matter what network you turn to, it was
Mm-hmm.
all over. What did we think we would gain by them playing, this domestic violence case in front of the world over and over again, the same way they played these riots that took place, not too long ago? What did we think we would gain by them, showing that over and over again?
Well, I think one, it's making them be held accountable to show the differences. And I mean, I felt like Biden, when he came out and he was, he had his inauguration address, and some of the other politicians, I mean, they said very clearly, if those were Black Lives Matter, it would have been a very different outcome than what we saw ended up happening on January 6th. Yes. So I think it comes down to having allies such as Biden and some of these other different politicians where, their eyes are wide open. And just like when Biden had his inauguration speech, I don't know if he said it that day or another day, but he said he was talking about George Floyd, and he said that 8 minutes and 46 seconds changed a lot for America, and it opened people's eyes. Mm-hmm. And I think that's what we need to continue doing, is we need to open people's eyes to, hey, do you see the difference in how this group was treated versus how these people were treated? And these people were literally looking to kill politicians. They were looking to kill Nancy Pelosi. They were looking to hang Mike Pence. They actually, what is that?
The news.
The news, yeah. On Capitol grounds. That is just crazy. So when people try to compare the two, we also need to start calling people out on their shit. No, it's not the same. Us marching because we want to have equal rights is not the same as some self-entitled fucks, excuse my mouth, going and storming the Capitol, literally looking to kill politicians. The two are not the same. So I think we need to continue to have that dialogue with people and call people out on their bullshit when they attempt to change the narrative of the conversation. Yes, we have to.
And I definitely agree with you, Mia, but the only thing about it is we have to get it to those people that's on top. So you guys remember when Obama was in office and we had the Trayvon Martin situation. He actually called that out for all the headline news for everyone to hear what was going on with that case. So now that Trump, he's not for us. So he's not going to do those type of same things that Obama would do. So I think that's where it starts at. People at the top, they need to address this so it can be pushed down to the media and everyone everywhere else, so everyone can start addressing these things. If that don't ever happen, we won't ever get those same rights and equal opportunities that the other kind will get, because if they don't talk about it at the top, what makes you think they're going to talk it at the middle or level or the bottom level?
Oh, I agree with you.
Mhm.
And I think that's the whole purpose of why Black America came out and voted in the numbers that we voted in. We knew that there wasn't going to be an opportunity to have any changes if Trump remained in office, because he was, let's call it what it is. He's a fucking racist. Okay.
Exactly.
So part of that, we needed to get rid of him. He's gone. Biden and Harris and their agenda that they had, part of what they campaigned on was starting a universal policing system where these officers, there is a place for employers to be able to go into this database to be able to pull and see if they've had any sort of cases in another state. That needs to happen. And I'm glad that that was part of what they campaigned on. I think we have a chance with them. We didn't have a chance with Trump.
I think we have hope, but the thing about it is we need to start making changes, and we need for them to start making it as soon as possible, because the thing is, we are tired, we are fed up. Everything is just always against us. When is going to be our time for pretty much it be equal rights in this universe or this society?
Right.
Yeah.
I think the other big thing is too that they keep trying to say that having these police officers that's patrolling our own neighborhoods, that's a big part of the problem. When you're trying to bring in an officer from North Dakota or from Wisconsin or somewhere that's never walked around in PG County or Washington D.C. patrolling our own people. That they're always going to be scared. There's no amount of training in the world that's going to have them not be scared of us, in our own neighborhoods. And so, part of it is, I think, is we need to patrol our own neighborhoods for one. That I feel like that would help a lot. Is patrolling our own neighborhood. You can't say that we're not qualified, because that's the first thing you want to say is, oh, it's not enough Black qualified police officers. No, they're out there. But that's a big part of the problem, is them coming in our neighborhoods and patrolling us, trying to patrol us, and they're scared. They're scared because of what they see on TV, from what they've been raised around.
But some of it just boils down to they're racist. Let's call that what it is.
Yeah.
There's a lot of racist, and now you have the news is coming out and saying that there were at least 28 officers at that insurrection at the Capitol. They are police. Mm-hmm. So again, that's why I think that also in what you're saying, Jay, is we need to police our own neighborhoods, but we also need to ensure that people that have those sort of values and feelings towards Black and brown people, that they aren't allowed to police, because they use their badge as their power, and then it's always
I was scared for my life.
I'm scared for my life. If you look at that insurrection, you don't think those officers were scared for their life, and they only killed one person. And these people had guns, zip tie. They were looking to go in there.
Yes.
Hello. So I can't. I don't even like to use the thought process that, oh, they're scared. No, it's not that they're. Some of them, yes. Some of them have real reason to be fearful, but if that is how they are allowed to keep policing, and if you're scared, you can't de-escalate a situation other than pulling your weapon and killing somebody, then you don't need to be a police officer. But
it also comes down to basically stereotyping. So I already think that we have black neighborhoods that are just as rich as these white neighborhoods. But
Yeah.
you don't see them going into white neighborhoods being scared and doing the same type of behavior they do when they working. But when it comes to a black neighborhood and they know it's black people that's living there, the first thing they think is that it's some type of activity is going to go on for some reason. Why we can't have just those same equal, this is just a nice neighborhood or a nice suburban housing area and have those same thoughts? Why is always that, we might have some gang activity or we might have some robbing and stealing or whatever the case is. So I think the pretty much thing that what they have to do is change their mindsets of how they treat and it have to be set at an equal perimeter where they both have all type of training where they pretty much can say, you know what, you're right. We can treat the black neighborhoods and the white neighborhoods the same, and pretty much I think that's a start for them to pretty much to start doing their job better.
Right.
Yeah, it's necessary, but I think at this point, their excuse for why they're so quick to kill us is that kind of went all out of the window January 6th, and watching how they police those people who, I mean, let's call them what they are. They're terrorists. They had every right to be scared of those people, but yet they only killed one of them.
Right.
And that was by accident.
Yeah, I don't even think
that wasn't just pretty much like, okay, we aiming to kill. That was pretty much like, okay, well, this is just pretty much just an accident. It wasn't supposed to happen.
Right.
Right. Well, and that's how it's portrayed. And then you look at how the media spins those terrorists. Oh, she was a vet. Or she was a veteran. She over the years she was radicalized. She, had mental problems.
Yeah, that's the first go-to is, they had mental problems.
They have mental problems.
We all have mental problems.
When you have, right, when
everybody has something going on in their head. So
right, when you have these white kids, I mean, I'm sorry, some people aren't gonna like how abrasive I am, but I'm just calling a spade a spade. You have these white kids going and shooting up schools and movie theaters and churches. Look at Daniel Ruth. What's his name? Was it Daniel Ruth? What was it? The guy that went into the church in Charleston and killed those five. Those 9. Right. They took his ass to goddamn
Burger King.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? And they knew he had killed 9 people, and they took him to Burger King. George Floyd was accused of using a counterfeit bill to pay for his groceries that he got at this convenience store. It ended up coming back that counterfeit bill was not counterfeit. It was real.
Right.
And those officers took that, and I mean, you saw him begging for his life. And that officer had a knee on his neck, and the other 2 also had knees on his back. And that man was calling for his mother, who she had passed away, I think 2 or 3 years ago. He was calling for a grown ass man was calling for his mother.
And that's pretty much, we only call for our mamas when we in desperate need. So you knew that he pretty much fit. Yes. And the thing about it was, they came out and said that those police officers had issues with George Floyd beforehand. So this was an ongoing type of thing that they planned to do.
Right.
So, that's what I just don't understand. How can you just let it? And then what, they got dismissed from the case, or they didn't even they got charged, but I think they threw the case away, right?
Yeah. No, it's still in progress. But
it's in progress.
A lot. I think 3 of them went home on bail.
Right. Okay, that's what it was. They went on bail. That's what I was talking about.
If a black man or a black woman kills somebody, they gonna give us bail? Look at that cop that killed that white lady, and I think it was Ohio. I think it was Ohio, where there was a call that came in, and he was patrolling the neighborhood, and he was circling around, and it was dark. It was like an alley, and this white woman came up and like tapped on his window or something, and he freaked out and he shot her. He got 12 years. And it wasn't a matter of, because all the time when they kill us, it's we got to do the investigation first.
Right.
Investigation.
Instead of getting charged right away, or they taking it to court right away, it's always something that extend their. Some of these cases be taking years before they even get charged, which I don't understand.
Look at Breonna Taylor, right?
And the first thing they say is the prosecutor needs to get more evidence or more information.
Yeah, well, the state attorney general, I forgot his name. See, my nerves about to get mad thinking about him, because the way he presented to the grand jury that the case with Breonna Taylor, they tried to make it seem like, they were shooting back, so that's why she died. No, he was
trying to protect themselves. That's the thing that what they was trying to do. If you hear somebody pretty much coming in your house, the first thing you're gonna do is protect yourself. Right. So, but go ahead, man.
Yeah, so I mean, like that, and when the prosecutor presented the case to the grand jury, he didn't put in, because now you have those jurors that are coming out and saying, well, wait a minute, he didn't even give us an option to file murder charges on these police officers. It was like what is it, Wutan something, where he got charged for shooting and the bullets going through the wall.
The wall. To the other people's apartment.
Right.
Like in danger, something like that.
Right.
Yeah.
And the body cam had came out after they shot her. They didn't give her any aid for I don't know how long. It was like 20 or 30 minutes, and they never tried to even give her aid, realizing what they had done.
They probably could have saved her.
Yeah, and so it's like, people, it's like, Black people are angry. You goddamn right we're angry, because at this point, you guys are just executing us. The police are the what is it? The prosecutor, the executioner, and the person that is arresting the people.
Mm-hmm.
They're not even letting these people go to trial, because they're executing them before they even have an opportunity. So
the thing is, what is it besides us pretty much just keep riding and doing the things and saying enough is enough and Black Lives Matters and just all the things that we come and push out to the media? But when is it time for us to make a stand and make a change we start pushing it where they have to make a change?
See, that's the tough part. The sad part is, I mean, my personal belief, I don't think it's ever going to change, ever. I don't think 10 years from now, 50 years from now, 100 years from now, I just don't think it's ever going to change.
And
we're talking about the same stuff that our parents talked about 50 years ago, that their parents talked about 50 years ago. Now, granted, I will say stuff has changed over the years. I mean, that's clear. We've all went to college. We've all, got careers and stuff like that. So, and our parents, grandparents, they paved the way to get to where we are. So things are getting better, so to speak. But some of this stuff is I just feel like it's just not going to go anywhere. It's just not going to go away. But things are, quote unquote, getting better. I mean, look at us. You know what I mean? So
yeah, but I think the way that we have changed it, and I think that this election is very evident of that.
Mm-hmm.
Is voting these elected officials out that don't look at Black Lives Matter as a serious issue. They look at it as a slogan.
Mm-hmm.
I've never heard Trump or anybody or any of the Republican party, except for Mitt Romney, because he actually marched for Black Lives Matter over the summer, and a few others. But majority of the Republican Party, I'm sorry just to say, a lot of them are racist.
Yes.
And we have to, the way that we have change happen is voting them out.
Voting them out of it.
Yeah, because those are the same people who've been in there for years. And that the thing is, they have that same mindset of, we gonna do it our way, we're not gonna do any changes, or we're not gonna make any changes. So that's why I think is the reason why things haven't changed the way that it should have been, because you have these old people, they've been in there probably, I'm quite sure 3, 4, 5, 6 decades. And they still have that old school mindset where they pretty much have, okay, you know what? We don't really care about these people, or we're not gonna make a change. So it's not gonna make a difference of how life and society is actually becoming.
Right.
Because they still have that old school mindset.
And unfortunately, when he got to office, that he put a fire up underneath all of them to get them riled back up again. Did we ever really think, of course we know America is racist, but these last 4 years, did we really know it was that racist in America? And this divided? I honestly, maybe I'm naive. I did not think that America was this goddamn divided. I mean, this is that's one thing I'll give that sorry Trump, he showed us that America is, and I always tell people the unfortunate part is not necessarily that scared of Trump or the Republicans. It's my neighbor over there across the street, my neighbor over here around the corner. Them the ones that can put hands on, them the ones that is our co-workers, your boss. You know what I mean? Them the ones that Trump put a fire up underneath of. I honestly, maybe naive, I did not know we was this divided. This is insane right here.
Yeah.
And when they stormed that Capitol, that showed, to me, that showed exactly how divided we were. And the last point I'll say is, Biden and Harris won, but 74 plus million people voted for that side of America. Or that
they were okay.
Of the lines. That's dangerous. And that's a serious.
Well, they were okay with his racism.
Yeah.
They were okay with looking past his racism because it benefited them in some sort of way. Let's call it what it is. So that's why when people say, "Oh, it's Republican versus Democrat," no. We could have that type of feeling when it came to Bush, both of the Bushes, right? Or Reagan. But this man, he didn't even try to hide his racism. Central Park 5, calling Black athletes that kneel because they're trying to bring awareness to police brutality, calling them sons of bitches. Him and his father being sued in New York for housing, discriminating against Black tenants. I mean, the list goes on and on and on and on with this man. And so that's what's more disturbing to me, is to find the people that you've called a friend for so many years, to see that they're backing this man
exactly
has shown that he doesn't give a shit about Black people. That to me, I've taken really personal, and with people that I thought I had really close relationships with, it's made me kind of rethink my loyalty to them, and having those type of people in my life, because if you're okay with his racism towards Black people, and that's not a line in the sand for you, then that shows me your character as a person.
Yes, and Jay hit it on the nail. Pretty much, I remember when Obama got elected to president, my manager was mad. When I tell you, he went, as soon as they announced that he was becoming president, he went in his office and slammed the door, and pretty much, like, all of us was like, wow, like, he didn't even have to say anything for us to know what was going on in his head.
How did that make you feel? How did that make you feel? Just,
I mean, it was our job at the time. You know, it ain't like we can just say, you know, we're gonna get up and quit.
Right.
So, you know, the thing was, we just had to watch how we kind of like work with him, because the thing is, if he had, just because a black man got elected president and you feel that type of way about it, we know that you feel how you feel really inside about this whole racism thing.
Yeah, exactly.
So
exactly.
But the thing with Mia also said though, what about like our black rappers and entertainers and things of that nature backing up Trump and going towards his side, like Lil Wayne, Kanye West. So how does that make us feel if the people that these young kids are looking up to, and they are ones that's backing up a racist?
Well, like Lil Wayne, it was all about the money.
Yeah.
It's all about money.
Lil Wayne got paid.
He got a pardon.
And he makes it clear how he feels. For using him for an example, he makes it clear. He don't care. You know, his last.
Welcome to Bros and Sweet Talk. First episode. Okay, so hold on.